Hey guys, how's it going? What's up? So, the AirLine 88AH8 headset UHF wireless system. So, you saw the thumbnail, said said AirLine 88X. So I'm guessing and assuming that the X is a little bit slightly upgraded by the fact that they include a rubber band to help for resizing your head, because every video I've seen, even with this particular one with this model number attached, no headband included. So it's kind of like you squeeze in the sides and hope for the best, I guess. But mine came with a rubber headband that has multi-positions and different ways to dial in the headset to fit your head better, although I think it's still not the best setup because of the earlobe parts. So let's take a look at an exploded view here. See, these are pretty bulky. It's kind of like wearing glasses in reverse, and what happens is they pull down at the top of your ears and kind of make you look like Dumbo the elephant. Not a very cool look, right? So anyways, I thought this would be a great set because of no body pack, no more wires, everything's self-contained, even has a rechargeable lithium battery that is replaceable, and of course water resistant for those who sweat to death, right? Turns out though, in the end, the mic element is absolutely useless if you are singing and playing an instrument or even singing in a band, although we had a hard time finding this out until I got home with it. We went to our band practice at church, and of course we have a piano player, there was myself, harmonica, so whatever was going on got drowned out in the mix and couldn't really hear what actually did happen, which I'm about to tell you. So I got home, I hooked it up to my studio equipment and decided to do some playing, and I kind of heard a sound that, I don't know, so I checked the tuning on my guitar, tuning's fine. And so I decided to record, and I recorded a couple of different times, tried the mic in different positions, and every time I get the same result is my voice gets messed up a bit, and of course my 6-string guitar sounds like a 12-string that is going through an extremely bad day of a horror flick. Totally whacked out. It's just disgusting how bad the music was broken up from just the guitar alone. So this was something that got lost in the mix that even our tech couldn't hear in the church, and that's fine because that happened. But when you're by yourself, this is when you really hear what's going on. So I called the store up, and the one guy, although he wasn't that knowledgeable, he thought maybe my DAW was causing latency or lag. And I said, no, not a chance. I mean, I'm running QuickTime for this to shoot my video and audio, and I got a pretty fast Mac, so no way. And I've been using this same computer even with this kit, and I've never ever experienced any lag problems or anything. And this kit actually is perfect for singers. Okay, problem is I'm spending way too much money on batteries because I have a transmitter and receiver both running batteries. And in any kind of a wireless system, whether you're using replaceable batteries or whether you are using a built-in battery, lithium-ion, LiPo, whatever, your receiver portion actually works 2 to 2.5 times harder than what your transmitter does. So that's why you'll always get more runtime out of your transmitter than you will out of your receiver when you're paired with a transmitter and receiver both running batteries. So I get good runtime out of my transmitter, but this thing, not so great. But anyways, I still get up almost 6 hours of use, but at the same time I use this kit a lot at home and at church, and I'm the one paying the bill for my batteries, and with what I've spent on batteries in the last 7 months, pretty much covered the cost of this thing, which was like 550 bucks Canadian, and turned out to be completely useless. So for those of you who are singers, and singers, whether you play an instrument along with your music or not, this thing gets a big fat 0 out of 5, and to stay away from it, okay? Fitting of the headset, you still have, you know, even though mine came with the rubber band adjustment thing, you still have to squeeze the sides in. You know, I read the instructions, and of course a few people apparently didn't, and they snapped their earlobes. They do tell you right in the manual, do not bend the earpieces, they will break. Okay, so read the manual. But anyways, there were still fitting issues with this no matter what I did. I still couldn't get it to fit right, but in the end it didn't matter, because for what I wanted it for and thought it would work for, it can't. It's not possible. And you can't just change the microphone element to a different type of mic system, so that becomes a bit of a problem there. So it's kind of like, So for fitness instructors and people just doing straight out speech and don't mind having, you know, outside sounds picked up, because it will pick up a mouse fart. I mean, this thing is so sensitive, it is pathetic. And there's nothing wrong with sensitive mics. I like that idea, because it means you don't have to crank stuff so high. However, in the case of this thing, the amount of sensitivity that was there really messed up my music, really messed up my vocals, and but either way, it's a no-go in that sort of usage. Getting the headband to fit, that becomes a problem too, because you do have these earlobes that are pretty bulky, and they say if you wear glasses to put the headband on first, get it to fit, then put your glasses on. Tried that too, and of course it wasn't too bad, it stayed in my head. But when I went and I tried to add in my in-ear monitors, then put this on, then my glasses, then I experienced more problems. So, which is another reason why absolutely no good for singers either way. Not just because of the mic itself, but because of the way it's going to not fit right, and it's going to want to fall off once you get into your monitors in your head. So that's going to become an issue. But either way, its biggest problem, even if it did fit right, and if it was everything else great, it does have the wrong mic element in the end, it turns out. Which we found when I got back to the store and I was with the one manager, and we were, you know, researching this thing a little bit more in depth and checking out different mic patterns and stuff, and the kind of mic it is, and you know, so I mean, I don't know everything, and none of us do, and we do learn things by trying things sometimes. So there was no problem returning the unit, that was no big deal, and so I'm happy for that. And I didn't think there would be a problem anyhow. I've been dealing with this company for quite a few years. It's actually Long McQuaid. But either way, I rented a Sennheiser set, which turns out to be absolutely perfect for singing, playing an instrument. You can be as loud as you want, and it has a system where if your outside source tries to creep in, it'll automatically cancel out, so that your vocals stay your vocals and your music will stay your music where it's going to on the board, so you can keep your mixes properly balanced. So that's great. And because of renting it, it gave me a bit of an experience with Sennheiser as well, which I've never had really any hands-on experience. Like, we've rented them for church plays and stuff, and they seem to be pretty well-built units, and they are really expensive. Well, they can be. Now, our drummer has a Sennheiser set that's actually cheaper than the one I'm renting, and the headsets are the same, so of course microphones will be the same setup, same type of mic, and he uses it to sing harmony with us, and we've never had a problem even on recordings, and so that's very encouraging there. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at that set that I actually ended up ordering, because after trying this one that I rented that I really can't afford, this one I can, and $439. Now the only difference is between this set and the $780 set from Sennheiser is going to be your transmitter and receivers are different. So you've got a plastic bodied transmitter, which is fine, no biggie, and of course your box has, it's nice and black, which is cool, I like that. It's an LED display for your channels. Okay, the kit that I'm actually renting right now for the week is the G3 Evolution. Now this thing is pretty snazzy. I was actually watching the mic display part as it was popping up and down, just straight out playing my guitar, and of course I listened to it back and everything's fine. So then I play and sing, and it cancels out the guitar that it's picking up, so that it leaves my mix clean. This is also a very fancy LED display, and of course you do have a really nice display on the transmitter, and the transmitter pack is metal, with the exception of the battery cover door is, you know, it's plastic, but no big deal. But the headsets are virtually identical as well, so but the mic elements are the same apparently. So that's great. So awesome there, but I just can't afford $780. So that's where we're at with that. So if you're looking at wireless headset, true wireless, they have the Samson 88, they have the 77. Now the 77, it looks to be like the earpieces are slightly narrower, but it's not enough to convince me to try it, and besides which the mic element is probably going to end up being no different. I didn't even bother to investigate much into it. And of course there is and it's cheaper too. It's like $150 cheaper. And you know, but Long McQuaid doesn't carry the AirLine 99, which looks to be like a really nice all pure wireless system. But it's not on their website, so I assume they don't carry it. They might be able to just order it in. I mean, they're a Samsung dealer, so. But I wasn't willing to even take the risk on it, even though its mic, according to the specs on the Samsung website, said, well, you can angle it to get around some outside sources, right? And it's like, you know what? I'm not chancing it. Just let me try a Sennheiser out. So I did that, and yeah, I'm a Sennheiser fan now when it comes to that. So I can't wait to get my own unit home. They had to order it in. They brought it in from another store, so next week after, you'll see the video when it comes up. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up on this, because any videos that you see on the AirLine series, there's not much in the way of private YouTubers actually doing anything. In fact, even this one here, I couldn't find a private YouTuber that actually tried to even do anything with singing with it. You know, but at the same time, the video said that, you know, comparing this to this, well, I didn't really see in the video, unless I missed it, you know, like an instant frame change or something that he changed his headset. I may have missed it, but either way, they are weird to try and fit them to your head. You get Dumbo the elephant ears out of the deal. Not recommended whatsoever for any kind of singing. It's just going to destroy your sound in the end. So, but if you're a fitness instructor and you can get the headband to work for your head, it is water resistant. So if you're teaching some class in a swimming pool, feel free, dive in. Well, I wouldn't probably dive in. It's water resistant. I don't know how resistant, but either way, you could use it and get away with it, and no body pack, no wire. Right? And I wanted to get away from body packs, I wanted to get away from wires, but it looks like I'm still stuck with body packs and wires, which is fine, because at least now I have a mic system that is actually going to work properly, and I'm now only supporting 2 AA batteries in a transmitter instead of having to run 2 in the transmitter, 2 in the receiver, and it's going to cut my cost of batteries way back, because like I said, you're going to get 2 to 2.5 times the runtime out of your transmitter, which means I am going to save a boatload per year on batteries. And I know somebody's going to suggest rechargeable batteries, so let's go down that rabbit hole right now. Alkaline batteries put out 1.6 to 1.66 volts, right brand new out of the package, okay, per battery, right? A rechargeable battery, its base voltage is 1.2, where an alkaline is 1.5. The charge voltage of an average AAA or AA battery, okay, C or D as well, they are 1.5, which is usually their charged rate, okay? Sometimes you might get a 1.55, it just depends on the cells, right? But the rechargeables don't have the same voltage levels, nor do they, well, even if you had the more milliamps available for a longer runtime, that would be great, but you don't have the full peak voltage that a alkaline battery actually has and can maintain for quite a while. What happens with a rechargeable battery is you come across a straight plane, and then it'll, once it starts to dip, it just goes wow, and that's it. No warning on flatline, you know. So you don't know when you're about to flatline. At least with an alkaline battery, you've got the voltage. You can get high quality AA batteries, right, or alkaline batteries that have good milliamp output. Duracell makes them probably the most powerful milliamp rated AA's and AAA's out there. But an alkaline battery, yeah, it starts to lose right away, but its drop off is very slow, okay, and it'll at least give you a warning before it's going to puke, right? And I've had much better luck with alkalines in stuff than I have ever had with rechargeable NiCads or nickel methyl hydrate batteries. The only time I would recommend a battery more powerful would be like for your lithium ion and your lipo batteries. Those are great and commonly used in RCs. They have a little bit more voltage kick. They definitely have a lot more amperage and discharge capability kick, but that's not stuff that you would see running in this sort of thing. Now, I could probably modify the transmitter and receiver in this kit to each run a lithium ion or lipo battery that would probably maybe work, you know. But how well is it going to work is the question, because, you know, it's kind of one of those things. And then I got to go through a boatload of modifications just to do it. It's like, do I really want to go through that? Probably not, you know, just to, you know, have a rechargeable system. Because a single cell lipo is 3.7 volts, fully charged is 4.2, right? Now, if you're talking AA batteries at 2 of them, you're at 3.2 actually, so you'd be actually overpowering the unit. So a lithium ion battery or lipo would not be practical because you'd be overpowering the unit, you'd probably cook it. So that's where you'd end up in a big mess. So yeah, probably wouldn't suggest trying to do that kind of a modification. And yeah, you do save money on rechargeables, but the biggest problems other than the voltage difference is you're going to find there's going to be a performance issue difference. You will actually lose range because of lack of proper voltage, you know, which is a big thing. You could experience a lot of dropouts when you're using rechargeables because they don't have that same power level as an alkaline battery does. So that's a huge difference, you know. Now some things, yeah, you can get away with rechargeable batteries with. It's not, you know, big thing, but there are some things you just don't use rechargeable batteries for because they're useless. Not to mention the NiCads and nickel methyl hydrate. Now whether you want to believe this or not about nickel methyl hydrate, it's up to you, but both types do hold a memory, okay, over time. And you also have to have the big worry too that if you're not using a NiCad or a nickel methyl hydrate for an extended period of time, you have to at least once a month top those batteries up and make sure you do it every month, because if they get a chance to flatline by sitting on the shelf doing nothing for a few months, and they can, it'll actually reverse the pulls on the batteries and you won't be able to recharge them again. I've seen that happen myself, you know, so it's kind of like, yeah, great, now we got more maintenance to deal with, you know. So you need to keep them topped up. A lithium ion or a lipo battery or Li-Fi battery even, those batteries, they can lose a charge over time, but it can take upwards to over a year. So you don't have to actually maintain them the same way as you do NiCads and nickel methyl hydrate batteries on a monthly basis, you know, whether you're using those batteries or not, you know. And if you are RCers who are using nickel methyl hydrate batteries in your RCs, you have the same maintenance thing to deal with, because just sitting on the shelf, if it sits there too long without being used, it can reverse its pulls and flatline. Because as soon as you take a battery off of a charger, any rechargeable battery, I don't care what it is, it'll automatically start to lose power. How much power it starts to lose depends on the battery chemistry type, etc. NiCads and nickel methyl hydrate are the worst for it, and they will start losing quite drastically in comparison to a Li-Poly or a Li-Fi, etc. Okay, so a little bit of a battery lesson for you kids, guys, girls, people. Anyways, so definitely, if you're a performing artist for music, this is a no-go. Absolute 0 to 5. If you're going to be doing your, you know, stuff that is just voice only, and you can live with some of that background noise that can get in, okay, and of course you can deal with the headset, which is kind of funky to put on your head, then I would probably rate this thing, you know, because, you know, it is what it is for the headset part, I would probably rate this thing at about 3.5 out of 5. Okay, with a strong recommendation of, you know, make sure this is exactly what you want, what you need, and make sure it's going to suit your activity level, we'll say, or activity that you require it for. Whether it's teaching classes in a swimming pool, doing comedy on stage, or speeches that you're doing, you know, and you just want that entire massive amount of freedom from cables and stuff, you know, and if the headset can fit your head, fine, and you don't mind looking like Dumbo the Elephant with your ears, give her, you know. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that one. I didn't show you guys the actual unit because I bought it the other day, took it back the very next day, but I thought I'd do a review anyways so that people have a actual proper review to go by, so that you know all the ins and outs on this particular unit. It's kind of too bad it didn't work out, because I really enjoyed the fact of, you know, even though I still had to play around with the headset and was a little bothersome on the earlobes, it was nice having that experience of freedom of that kind of a wireless headset thing. So, you know, if they refine it and they make a set geared towards singers and stuff, well, then that'd be good. But they really have a lot of work to do on how this system hooks into your head. That's a major one, and that's really got to be seriously looked after, because that's just so ew, you know. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned. You're going to see a review too on the Sennheiser unit that I'm actually using right now, that it's on rental. And of course, when my own Sennheiser shows up, we'll be checking that out as well and doing some testing on screen. And it's going to be a bit of lengthy reviews on those, but you know, I'm sure you'll enjoy them, and you know, type of thing. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.